Hello, in this training 4, we're going to do raster styling. And raster imagery is basically pictures. And so it's very different from the lines, the points, and the polygons that we've done thus far. So what we're going to do is get that information from something called NYC Open Data, so New York City Open Data. You can go look at it if you want. You can click on these links and find it. But we've got a direct download link for the two data sets that we want right here. And so you're going to download both of these data sets. You can see mine started downloading. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to click the other one too to get it going as well. And they're both downloading, and you can see that going on right here. In the meantime, while we're waiting on that, let's talk about what we're going to see. So obviously we're going to be talking about stuff out of New York, and so we're going to look at these this population information that we are going to get our hands on, and it'll look very much like this. There are actually going to be a couple of things here. There's going to be the points, the lines, and the polygons. We are going to see some of that, and we'll talk about the raster in just a second. Okay, so now that I have my in my folder, I've got the two downloaded files unzipped or extracted already. I'm just going to click on the little toggle button and click and drag both of these into the area that I want here. Okay. All right. And so first thing you're going to see is that these are kind of black and white, and they are very different. So these are raster files, and raster files are basically images that have numbers assigned to each little pixel that are out there. So what is a pixel? Well, if I zoom in, let's see if I can zoom in far enough. You can see that there's these little jagged edges here. Well, let's see if I can change this so you can see it a little better. I might have to re-add it once I mess it up, but I want you guys to see it. So I'm going to just mess it up for just a second. I'm going to change this to, so this is multicolor. Sorry. Symbology. The hillshade? How about that? Well, you can see in this particular one that there's these little triangles, and each one of these triangles are what we call a pixel. And these pixels have a specific number assigned to them. And they can be small and they can be large pixels. If you have a 4K TV monitor or TV in your home, they're really, really tiny pixels. That's what makes it a 4K image. If it's just high definition, it could be 1080p or 720p, and those are not quite as high, small in size, a pixel, as your 4K is. One day we'll have 6K and 8K TVs, and they will be even much smaller, little squares. And so each one of those squares will have number to determine the color that you see. So if we back off a little bit, you can see a little bit better that each one of these squares have a number attached to them, and that gives them a different color. All right. So I am going to try and change this back. Actually, I'm just going to remove it and re-add it. and then I'm going to re-add it. So this is the 2000, so I need the 2010. All right, so I've got them both in there. So we've already just gone through the first 3 steps in the video by just adding those 2 things to our QGIS. So what we're going to do real quick though is we're going to do a few quick changes. One thing that you can do, those little pixels I just mentioned, we can bring them back. If you click on this button up here and you click on them, it will give you the value of whatever pixel. See that little red dot is a pixel, and that's the value of that pixel. And so if you wanted to know, there's how you would know what the value is, or at least one of the ways you would know. So if we wanted to know what the value of both of them were at the same time, we could just hit the control button on our keyboard and click the second layer, and then we could go over to our right, and you can see our first layer is still there, but we want to see the second, so we can click on this information. We can see how the population has changed over time. So this is 2000 and this is 2010. You can see that the value dropped by from 3.07 to 2.78. So the next thing we're going to do is mess with the coloring like I did a few moments ago. We're going to make sure we're clicked on that top one there. It says 2010. If for some reason they're out of order, all you got to do is click on this and pull it above the other one and it should stay there. Now you're going to click on the little paintbrush over all the way to the left that says open the layer styling panel. And we've done that, and we can see over here on the right that we've got some changes that we're going to make. And so we are going to do step 6 now in your lab manual, and we're going to click on single gray band layer and go down to single band pseudo color instead. And we've done that. You can see it changed over here a little bit when we did that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change this from max to min. Okay, so now you're going to toggle down min max and click on cumulative count cut. And you'll see it goes from 2 to 98. And when you do that, you should get an image that looks somewhat like mine. So now we're going to get rid of this area down at the bottom here. We don't need that anymore. So I'm going to, all right. And so we just want to make sure that everything matches as best we can the stuff that's in the instructions. So I look at all the settings. We've got whole raster, estimate. It's linear. We could change this to something else. So let's go ahead and make it similar to, I hit the wrong button. Now I'm getting rid of this so that I don't see that. And then I am going to click on color ramp. And on color ramp, I'm going to click on reds. And you can see that now ours is somewhat like the instructions. And so the darker the red, the more intense the population. So now if I scroll over to Asia, we look at Asia, we kind of look somewhat similar to what's in the training instructions. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to copy the settings we used here and paste them to this one right here. So you're going to right click on to this, you're going to come down to styles. You're going to copy the style, and we'll just do all categories. Okay, and then you're going to right click or left click onto the 2001. Then you're going to right click. You're going to go down to styles, and you're going to paste style, and then all styles. And you can see now we've got exactly the same thing on both ends.